is it that we like about a mid-size pickup truck? Well, they're easy to drive because they're not huge. They have a nice bed so you can haul all the things that you need to haul. They have great tow capacity. This one can tow 7,700 pounds. They can go off-road. They can be customized for whatever you need them for. And inside, the cabins have all the creature comforts that we're used to in our cars and SUVs. This is the Z71 edition that we're test driving. It has a new face, it has new lights, it has a totally new look to it, and it has four-wheel drive. The two bottom trims, the WT and the LT, have all-wheel drive standard, although you can upgrade quite a lot of things on those trucks. But we're going to focus on the Z71 Colorado that we have here and what is new for 2023. For the 2023 model year, Chevrolet has really simplified the choices in the Chevy Colorado, giving you just what you want. In fact, they listened to buyers, and buyers said they really wanted crew cabs and they wanted the 5-foot bed. So all versions have the crew cab and the 5-foot bed. That means there's seating for 5 passengers and there's plenty of cargo space. But this is not so big that it's hard to drive or park. They also listened to what buyers wanted in terms of engines. And so they put the same engine in the Chevy Colorado as you get in the Chevy Silverado. It is a 4-cylinder turbo, and there are 2 versions, one with 237 horsepower and one with 310 horsepower. Then you can also give a little boost to the torque. That is an aftermarket thing that you will get from the dealer that takes the torque over 400 pound-feet. So if you really need that extra pep, if you're going to be towing a lot, if you're going to be really filling this truck, that torque might help you to get up to speed a little more quickly. But if you're carrying a light load, it's pretty zippy. We took it for a ride. So being Chevy's mid-size truck, it's estimated to get pretty good fuel economy and 2-wheel drive. I love the 4-wheel drive system. This is so clever, and I love that you get to choose the drive system that you want at the time, 2-wheel, 4-wheel, or automatic. You can let the truck pick what it thinks is the appropriate to use at the moment. But let's give it some gas. So you really do hear the car. You hear the engine. This is the 310 horsepower larger engine. So this is the one with all the power. I will say I'm feeling like every little bump in the road. Part of it is that it's a truck. Part of it is that it's 4-wheel drive. But you do definitely feel every little bump. And this is California where the roads they complain about the roads they don't know from bad roads, I promise you. Roads look pretty good. It's in pretty good shape, but I still am feeling every little bump, and you can probably see that in the video as well. So not the smooth and sleek pillow drive that you get in a crossover, but not bad. This is not uncomfortable at all. Parking, making U-turns today, those kinds of maneuvers were super easy because of the size of this truck, which is what I really love. So it's a pretty nice ride. It does feel like a truck. It was expecting more of a car/crossover feel, but nope, it feels like a truck. You see the hood lines of the truck, and it does feel like a truck. You really sit nice and upright, which I do appreciate. And you do have the truck engine. This is a 310 horsepower engine. We're in the LT, and it has the upgraded, more powerful engine. You get the choice of the 4-cylinder that generates 237 horsepower or the 4-cylinder that generates 310. That is an upgrade, and that's the one that we're driving. So I do really appreciate that. So inside the cab of the Chevy Colorado, which is high enough off the ground that you have really great visibility, but not so high that you need running boards to get into it. Another thing we like about mid-size pickup trucks. The cabin has been completely redesigned. So the first thing you're gonna do is toss your phone into this little cubby. This is a wireless phone charger in the top trims. In the lower end trims, the WT and LT, it is not a wireless charger, it's just a storage cubby. But it fits my phone really nicely, and it actually has this nice little camo embossed map or camo looking tray liner, and it looks kind of cool. I like that. The big news is this screen and the driver information screen. So ours has an 8-inch digital screen here for the driver and an 11-inch screen, multimedia screen for the cabin for everyone to use. And this is where you'll find navigation and radio and things like that. And you can also set up all your off-road settings there. That's where your camera functions are. There's a lot right there in this screen. There are hard buttons here and here. There's two rows, one at the bottom of the screen and then one here. And then there's another row of buttons here for different functions. So you've got everything at your fingertips. Here is your center command console, so gear selector, our drive mode selector, and our 4-wheel drive. And even the all-wheel drive version has this selector, so you can choose 2-wheel or 4-wheel high or automatic. So the system will just decide to kick into 4-wheel when it needs that extra power or to prevent slippage on a particular wheel, on one wheel or the other. And I really love this off-road 4-wheel drive system and drive mode selector, and I will show you that because I think they did a beautiful job with this. And then there are our cup holders. There is a armrest with a console here and a tray that pops out so you can stow a few things there and a few things underneath. And then our version has these leather seats. So some of the versions have leatherette. The mid-levels have leatherette, and then the base models, the WT and the base model LT, and even the Trail Boss model have cloth seats as a base, and then you can upgrade to leatherette or leather. So there are a lot of options within the truck, even though Chevrolet has boiled this down to 5 editions. So the 5 editions of the Chevy Colorado for 2023 are WT, which is the work truck, LT, which I'd like to think was originally the luxury truck, but then they've gone way beyond. But you can get the LT with leatherette and with many of the luxuries that are available in the other trims. Then there is the Trail Boss, which is off-road capable. It has a 4-wheel drive. Then there is the Z71, which is the one that we're in, which is designed for even more for off-roading and a little more luxury off-roading. And then there is the ZR2, which they have not started building yet. We haven't had a chance to drive yet, but we will. And that will be the top of the line, true off-roader in the Chevy Colorado family. So I want to show you a few more details in the cabin. Really nice opening graphics to greet you, and that's before you've even started the engine. I do love these 2 screens right here. So I'm going to start the engine and give you a little walk through all of the details here in the Chevy Colorado. There are no headlight buttons in here, which is crazy. And I was looking for the control everywhere, and now I've just found it. It's actually, there's no headlight button here. There's nothing on a stalk. It's actually right here in this touch screen. So basically, I want you to notice, basically the headlights are on all the time. Now, if I need to turn them on, I can turn them on there, and I see here that it says the automatic light is off. And now I can see that the light is on. And then I can touch this and it's on auto, and the headlights are just on all the time. I'll show you another detail about the headlights. I can turn on automatic high beams. So I don't have to ever turn on the high beam headlights. They'll just come on when it's dark enough that they're needed. And then when there's another car or truck or pedestrian or human in my field of vision, then it dials down the light to regular illumination headlights. So automatic automatic high beam headlights have become a pretty popular thing with manufacturers, and as a driver, it's something that I do really like. Let's talk about what's new here. So this 11-inch touchscreen multimedia system is brand new for 2023. So is this screen. Now in our edition, it is a digital driver information screen. It's 8 inches wide. There's a more traditional analog screen in some of the other versions. We have the upgraded version in this car. I want you to notice here. So this is Google Maps. If you notice Google Maps and it looks familiar, that's because this is Google Maps, and Google is the operating system for all of General Motors' new cars with the new system. It's by Google. So it has this. Hey Google, navigate to the San Diego Airport.
Okay, San Diego International Airport, San. Here we go.
So you can ask Google to do all kinds of things. Hey Google, what was the first year of the Chevrolet Colorado pickup truck?
2004. On the website cars.com, they say the Colorado debuted for 2004 as a replacement for the S10 pickup truck. Power came from a standard 175
Cancel.
horsepower. 2.
So that's a really nice feature. You could actually use this system to assist your kids with homework. You can use this to research, a coffee shop or a destination or a public park. Any kind of information that you want while you're driving, all you have to do is say, hey, you know who? And the system comes to life. It's a really great feature, and it is standard in every version of the Chevy Colorado. That is a really nice bonus for the 2023 model. And then we have our functions here. There is a really nice camera. Here's our camera. And this is set up for off-roading. So we actually have the undercarriage camera, and I can switch it so I have 2 views of the rear tires and from the front wheels and from the rear wheels there, or I can get the forward view and the undercarriage and the surround view, and then I can get the forward and undercarriage as a full view. So there's a lot of options here, and then I can also get the full forward view, and I can get the full rear view. So for the camera function now, when you have it in reverse, you just get the rear view. But for the camera function, you can get all of these different features, and then I can turn on or off my grid lines for backing. So you can, I don't know if you can see there, but as I turn the wheel, the grid lines move to show me where I'm going to be backing. And the system is pretty sensitive. It definitely helped us a lot today because this is a big truck, and with the truck bed, which you don't see behind you, so it can be, the length of it can be a little bit deceiving, this is a really great help. Appreciated that today. Below the screen, you have some climate control buttons, more climate control buttons here. This is for temperature, and your fan speed is over here, and that's your recirculation. In the lower trim levels, we did notice there weren't as many of these features. So fan speed was here and temperature was there for the whole cabin. This allows dual climate control. But in the lower trim, we were in the base model of the Trail Boss, and it had fewer options. It still worked great, but there just weren't as many options. And then we have some of our controls here. So this little gadget right here rolls down all 4 windows at once, our auto stop start, our flashers, emergency flashers, lane departure, and then our auxiliary power for the bed. You can turn that on or off here. So if you don't have this on and you plug something in, it's not going to work, but you have that on and then it will work, and that's nice. Then there is a phone charger pad here. In the lower trims, this is just a cubby. In this trim, this is a wireless charger, and actually you can see there's a little thing right there that shows us that it is working. So I can move those around by clicking and dragging. How clever is that? I love these little details. So this is the drive mode selector, so I can switch to tow haul, terrain, which is what you're going to use for off-roading, normal, and then off-road. So terrain and off-road, I guess, are a little, maybe this is a little more powerful. And then terrain, we use terrain on our off-road drive today. And And there's tow haul, 7,700 pounds of towing. In addition to choosing your drive mode, you can also put it in 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, or 4-wheel high, which means you can drive fast, or 4-wheel low. You have to put it in neutral and you just tap this little button here, or you can put it in auto, and that will allow you to drive. The car will basically use a very smart use all its sensors, or you can put it in auto, and in that mode, the Colorado will use its sensors to notice when there's wheel slip and give you power to the wheel that needs it the most. So all of that is pretty great. Now, you can pull the gear selector back to low, and then there's a little plus and minus button here on the side, and that allows you to go basically in first gear or second gear. So that gives you a little more control when you're off-road. We used that today on the off-road course. And then, if that's not enough, there's more. How about that? You've heard that before. And then there's more. So you're able to also select off-road modes, so you can get a lot of the information and details in these different screens. They'll show you your tire pressure and your G-force and all these other things. So great, useful information. You can also pick downhill descent control right there. So you tap this, and this will regulate your speed driving down a hill. And then you can actually use your speed selector here to change the speed for downhill descent control. So if you want to go downhill with a max of 3 miles an hour, you can set it to 3 or 4 or whatever you like. It only goes to a certain height, probably about 10 or 12 miles an hour, and then it won't work anymore. Then you have to really take over. But downhill descent control is a really nice feature for off-roading, and we used that today too. And that is, those are most of the features here. There are a couple of nice cup holders here. There is a armrest here with some storage underneath. And there are bottle pockets here in the door panels. Lots of storage, lots of little storage cubbies, which is really great for a pickup truck. Since you don't have a trunk and you don't have a closed cargo space, having all these little places to put things is pretty nice. The new look of the Chevy Colorado starts with the steering wheel. I found it to be very comfortable to hold. We have our basic controls here, so there's adaptive cruise settings here, heated steering wheel, phone, music, and then our menu selector here on the steering wheel. And this allows us to toggle through a number of the different settings here, so I can toggle through the different things and set up my driver information screen however I'd like. There is, because we're in the Z71, red stitching here. There's red stitching across here. And then it has this nice sort of woven vinyl dash covering, which is something that we actually saw in a very similar treatment in the Hummer EV. So I kind of like seeing this vinyl. It's a more of a sustainable material. And then it has these round air vents here on either side, and then air vents here. Our version has leather seats, it has a leather steering wheel, and it has a leather gear selector cover here. Not all do. Some have leatherette and some have cloth seats, and then just plastic, it's what they call molded plastic dashboard. It all is elegant. It all looks very similar, so it really is just a matter of the level of materials that you choose when speccing out a Chevy Colorado. And how about this? Right behind the multimedia screen, there's a little cubby. You could keep something really small there, a pair of sunglasses or something like that. But I put my hand sanitizer there. How clever is that? The rear seat of the Chevy Colorado is not huge. So this is a mid-size pickup truck. It really is intended for front seat passengers and all the cargo space in the back. But rear seat passengers do fit. Now this seat is pushed pretty far forward. I think a front seat passenger who's not overly tall would be quite comfortable. This seat, however, is set for my driving position. So anybody who's sitting here is really not going to have a lot of legroom. There are child passenger car seat latches, lower anchors, and tethers. There are 3 of the tether anchors, and then there are two of the lower anchors, one there and one here on each of the outboard seats. The center seat does not have that. And then let's see, do we have, we've got cup holders here. We also have cup holders here. And then there's this nice little detail here. There is a phone holder right there. So somebody could put their phone right there, especially if you wanted to turn it upside down and charge it. There are two USB ports there, and you could just pop your charger right into the phone there. Two cup holders, and then there are also oversized bottle pockets that hold, this is not a quart-sized bottle, but they'll hold a quart-sized bottle, so overly large, recognizing that people like to have their big water bottles with them. So another feature is this window that slides open and closed here to get a little extra wind or light if you need it. There is a sunroof here. It's a half sunroof, or it's a standard sunroof, not a panoramic. And then the ceiling has a cutout here. So you'll see the light is down here, but then it cuts out over here. Rear seat passengers have good visibility because we sit up nice and high between the rear window, which opens like this for extra air, and good visibility. There's a sunroof, a standard size sunroof here. There's a cutout here over the head. So even though there's not a ton of legroom, it is a pretty comfortable rear seat for backseat passengers. Chevy also did this, and this is something that Colorado buyers are going to love. That is a multi-function lift gate. Now this is something that we've seen. You just flip these little levers here on the lift gate to unlock the party box. So this panel opens up. You could leave things in here all the time, tools or something like that. You can fill it with ice and food or beverages or whatever you like. There is a drain in here, so you're able to let all the liquid out when you're done using the party box. Then there are a couple of other nice little details on this lift gate. One is there is a yardstick here. So you get, it's actually a yard and a third stick. And then there is this nice little feature here that you can, a little guide here for these straps to hold the lift gate at an angle. So if you had something, for some reason, you needed to have a little extra space, and some reason needed to have this open about halfway, you could do that. We also have tie downs in the back. There are 8, and there is a 12-volt household outlet here. There's a light and an opening window on the rear passenger window, and a nice big Chevy badge right in the middle. Trying to install my camera so we can capture what it's like in the cab of the 2023 Chevy Colorado on this crazy off-road course that we're on. But how insane is this road? Although this truck is a little bouncy, and David's not driving slow.
No,
well, I mean, he's going 8 miles an hour.
I'm trying to keep up is the problem. Normally I would definitely go slower than this, but we've been left in the dust.
We have been left in the dust. So I'm just gonna use the arm mount, which is me holding the camera. You can see this thing swinging with the, you can see this swinging as we go over these ruts. That's pretty crazy. Oh my gosh. I did not intend to hold this, so you can see our faces as we bounce around the cabin. But it's pretty fun. You know what, for an amusement park ride, I give it a 10. It's like,
oh yeah, it's fun.
The best kind of amusement park ride. If you're gonna spend $5 grand a year on Disney tickets, go buy yourself one of these and an off-road trail pass, right?
I agree.
And then you get to drive it all year too. This is crazy. Look at this road that we're on. You can see this truck ahead of us. So now we were going up the mountain, now we're driving down the mountain. And the ruts and the rocks are pretty, can you guys see this? Look at where we are.
All I'm going to do is just make sure your tires are in the right plate. All as the driver, keep your wheel straight and just continue right on through until it's clear. And then back on trail.
So what he's saying is, when you're driving through an obstacle, have a spotter. Have somebody hop out of the truck and guide you through to make sure that your tires don't get stuck or damaged. Or your undercarriage, you want to make sure that you're able to clear the obstacles. And having somebody hop out, which I think is something that people don't know when they off-road the first time, that there should, when it's something that's hard to see or it's something that's very challenging, somebody should stand outside and spot the driver so that the driver doesn't damage the truck.
Go into terrain mode, and from terrain mode on your gear shifter, drop it down into L, and once you're in L, on the shifter you can toggle through different levels of terrain mode.
Oh, that's what this button is. This one.
It will take the truck slowly
Is it this?
through here, especially with the clearance.
Does that toggle you through terrain modes?
It takes it nice, slow, and easy, and we don't.
There you go. Look, he answered the question, what that button does.
Recommended 4-wheel high, terrain mode down into low on level number 2.
I want to try low though.
You are in low. Oh, you're in 4 low, not 4 high.
Yeah.
And he said 4 high. Gotcha.
Yeah, I might just go with low anyway.
So, terrain mode, there's a button on the side of the gear shifter. And when you're in low, that allows you to go through 1 and 2. What does that mean, 1 and 2? What do you think?
Oh, these? L1, L2?
Yeah.
I think it's going to hold you into first gear most likely.
Okay, so okay, gotcha. So I'll say the crazy thing about that hill, that divot that we went through, it looked 1,000 times worse than it really was. I thought, oh my God, I'm gonna get stuck. And am I really supposed to put my tire all the way down in that? And he was like, go straight. And I just drove through it. It was so easy. It was really easy. So you can climb that mountain. I guess because you have it, so if you get forward, you get undercarriage as well. Yes. We are now going 2,000 hours using hill descent control. Look at this gully we're going to drive through. This is... Woo! And I heard a little skid plate action there. Okay. That was like, if you went through that at 20 miles an hour, you'd feel it.
Oh, yeah.
But not with hill descent control on. That's well done, David. Chevrolet has filled the Colorado with a lot of great features that are perfect for mid-size pickup truck buyers. People who need something that's large but not too large, that is great off-road, that gives you really good comfort for daily driving as well. It's very well priced with an amazing starting price for a pickup truck. Lots of features and lots of options, and even at the top of the line is still pretty affordable. We can't wait to take another test drive in the 2023 Chevy Colorado.